Hey y'all, it's Shirley Neighborhood Therapist. So listen, y'all know that I am really big on history and education and facts, right? I have learned to ignore a lot of things, right? But one thing I don't like to ignore is when people say things that history proves otherwise. So again, and I'm probably not going to talk about this too much more, but I mean, I might because it's coming up. This post that I made regarding Mississippi Valley State University's marching band marching in this upcoming inauguration. You don't have to agree with me, but don't get in those comments and lie. Because somebody said that Martin Luther King Jr. would be disappointed in me and wouldn't agree with me as far as these young black, predominantly black band members playing for this inauguration. Listen, y'all gonna stop acting like y'all grandmamas, granddaddies, great uncles, great aunts like that man. Let's look at facts, okay? Martin Luther King Jr.'s approval rating has changed drastically over time, okay? And it started out cleanly divided among racial lines, okay? So let's get into it. In 1963, only 41% of Americans had a favorable view of King, 92% of Black Americans, and 35% of white Americans. See, y'all not about to play with me. Don't act like your people liked Martin Luther King Jr. and agreed with him, even though he was peaceful, nonviolent, and just wanted equality and equity. We're not going to sit up here and twist history because y'all want to get mad at our experiences and our truths. And when I say our, I don't mean all black people because we're not a monolith. There's black people on that very post who do not agree with me, and that's fine. But what you won't do is get on here and tell lies. I personally agree with somebody in my comments, I'm assuming it was a black man who said, Black, we need to separate. The black people need to separate, which is also a problem because we can never seem to just come together for anything at all. But that's irrelevant. If you feel like you don't agree and you want to wallow in respectability politics and you want to be accepted at any cost, that's your business. That's not my life nor my story, and it never will be. I don't want to be accepted at any cost. I don't want to be deemed the right kind of black. That's not my life. Okay. So if it's yours, cool. You be that. You be proud to be an American and all that. And that's wonderful and that's great. Good for you. That's not going to ever be me. At least not to the point where I have to alter myself or cater to some bullshit that ain't right. And this is far beyond that band playing for this inauguration. They're gonna play. They got the money. That's great. That's good. That money could have went to more important things, like keeping the actual doors of the school open because there's three other schools in Mississippi that might get shut down. But they felt like raising over $400,000 for this was the important thing. Neither here nor there. Listen, every year in January when MLK Day comes up, people seem to forget history. Everybody wants to say if folks were more like King and weren't all for division right now, we'd be better off. Y'all didn't like that man. He was always who he was. He was always about peace, nonviolence, come together, content of character and not color of skin. He was always that way. You didn't like that. You didn't like that. So now you get mad when those of us who know you didn't like that say the very things that y'all have always said. Imagine. Let's just imagine. Imagine back in 19, let's go with like 1952. Imagine a black band being invited to play for whoever the president was. Then I don't feel like looking. I know my presidents, but I don't feel like looking right now. Imagine that. Do you think that would have happened? Do you think a black band would have been invited to play during Jim Crow? Do you think that y'all ancestors would have been saying, let them play? They're American too. Less than 200 years ago, you said we wasn't even human. So what? And see, that's another thing. You don't get to tell people how to react to the ramifications of history that are still prevalent today. You realize that, right? You realize that all these historical things that you tell people to get over are still prevalent. And it's funny that the only people that get told to get over some shit is us. You don't ever hear people telling Jewish people to get over the Holocaust. You don't ever hear that. For 9/11, what do we hear? What's the catchphrase? Never forget. But you want us to forget some shit. You want us to pretend like history didn't happen. You want us to pretend like it wasn't just 5 or 6 generations ago that our ancestors were in fucking chains. That's what you want? Okay. Okay. That might be what you want, but that ain't what you get around here. And I don't want to hear shit about, but you living in a victim mentality. Really? I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm quite privileged. I'm college educated. I'm married. I have children. I bought a house. I'm quite privileged. I'm not crazy. I would never sit up here and pretend like I'm just downtrodden. But I'm also not going to sit up here and pretend like systemic racism and all the things embedded in this country didn't still have an effect on either me directly or my family. I wouldn't dare pretend that. Why would I? Why would I lie to appease your sense of pride in this country? See, this is a side of me that doesn't come out too often, but I get very passionate when people start lying about history and people start telling just my people that we need to get over it. Just us. We are the only group that gets told that bullshit. And I don't understand. So again, I say, you can sit up here and you can say that Dr. King would have disagreed with me all you want to, but y'all didn't like him. You like him now. And that's quite funny and ironic that you like him now because you want us to be docile ass, peaceful ass people that just still let any and everything happen. No, that's not how it works. So, y'all have the best day, and some of y'all have the day you deserve. And don't ever think that you're going to get somebody like me to ignore some shit that's not okay.